Alco diesel locomotives of the Delaware and Hudson Railway. Photos and narration by Tom Hildreth. This is the Adirondack northbound behind Alco PA's number 19 and 17, departing Mechanicville, New York on the 1st of December 1976 at a location known as Coons Crossing. This is Delaware and Hudson Alco PA number 16 at South Station, Boston, Massachusetts on the 23rd of December 1977, at a time when the Mass Bay Transit Authority was leasing the locomotives. This is Delaware and Hudson Alco PA number 16, the M.A. Davis at South Station in Boston on the 23rd of December 1977. Here's another shot of number 16 at South Station. This is PA number 17 at South Station on the same date. And a shot of PA number 18 at South Station again. Here's number 18 from a different vantage point. And this shot, more or less a classic, shows the shape of this engine that makes it so appealing to rail fans and modelers. Built in Schenectady, New York by the Alco Company. Here's number 18, a front coupled shot as it runs southbound on the Adirondack, a Montreal to New York City train. This shot was taken at Whitehall, New York on the 6th of September 1974. Here's the Adirondack northbound behind PA's number 19 and 17 at Coons Crossing Road, west of Mechanicville on the 1st of December 1976. This is a Delaware and Hudson Century 420, an Alco product. This is number 413, and it is seen in Mechanicville, New York on the 2nd of May, 1984. Here's D&H 451, a Century 424, which had been previously operated by Conrail as number 2475, and before that by the Erie Lackawanna as number 2401, photographed at Mechanicville, New York on the D&H on the 7th of September 1981. Here's D&H 455, an Alco 424, Century 424, ex-Conrail, number 2488, and before that operated by the Erie Lackawanna as 2414, photographed at Rouse's Point, New York on the 3rd of August 1984. Here is D&H number 455, a Century 424, previously operated by Conrail as 2488, and before that by the Erie Lackawanna as 2414, photographed at Rouse's Point on the 3rd of August 1984. Here is D&H 462, a Century 424M, at Mechanicville, New York on the 7th of September 1981. Previously operated as Conrail 2482 and before that as Erie Lackawanna 2405. This engine is a Delaware and Hudson RS3M, originally built as the D&H RS3 number 4106 in September 1952. Photographed at Oneonta, New York on the 30th of July 1978. This is Delaware and Hudson RS3 number 503 at Mechanicville, New York in February 1978. Here's RS3M 504, previously numbered as 4113 on the D&H, photographed at Mechanicville in February 1978. This is Delaware and Hudson 506, an RS3M, originally built as an RS3 number 4112 in October of 1951, and it was photographed in the bicentennial color scheme at Whitehall, New York, April 1980. This is the Delaware and Hudson 614, what you might call the big Centuries. This is a Century 628, 6 axles driven, 2,800 horsepower. It was built in May of 1965 and photographed at Whitehall, New York on the 16th of August 1977. Built for the Boston and Maine as the 1508 in May of 1954, this RS3 was photographed working the Adirondack passenger train southbound at Whitehall, New York on the 6th of September 1974. Built in October of 1952, the Delaware and Hudson 4118 is seen here on the 21st of November 1973 on the branch line near Plattsburgh Air Force Base, New York. This Alco locomotive is known as an RS11 type. In this case, it's D&H number 5001, photographed at Rouse's Point, New York on the 13th of May 1983. It was built in March of 1960. It was built in March of 1960 as New York Central 8010. This unit was refused by the New York Central and sold to the D&H as 5001. Here's the Amtrak Adirondack southbound at Whitehall, New York on the 6th of September 1974. Number 5004, the lead unit, was an RS11 built in 1960. Number 1508 was built for the B&M as the 1508 in May of 1954. Here is D&H RS11 5007 leading a piggyback train at Willsboro, New York, past a group of Canadians who are waiting for the Adirondack, which is running late. Here's the Adirondack northbound at Whitehall on the 6th of September 1974. And we have one of the photogenic PAs seen here as the second unit behind the RS11 5008. Note the dome car, the last car on the train. Here is RS11 D&H 5010 at Whitehall, New York in 1974. Here is 5012 This was an RS-36 model, and it was photographed at Oneonta, New York on the 3rd of January, 1978. This is RS-36, number 5013. It was built in January of 1963, and it was photographed at Whitehall, New York in November of 1973. Another RS-36, this is D&H 5015 at Oneonta on the 3rd of January 1978. Here is RS-36 D&H number 5017, putting out the well-known Alco smoke. It was built in 1963 and photographed at Rutland, Vermont on the 17th of May 1983. Here we see some Alco power on a mixed consist. After bringing in the coal train from Whitehall, New York, D&H Power prepares to leave Rutland, Vermont as a light move back to New York at 1 p.m. on Tuesday, the 17th of May, 1983. Here's the 5018 and RS-36 built in January 1963. Photographed at Whitehall on the 16th of August, 1977. And here we have an Alco DL701 D&H number 5022 at Whitehall, New York in March of 1974. Here's an RS-36 D&H number 5023 at Whitehall on the 6th of September 1974. The end. Thanks for watching.